Hey, welcome to our first bonus episode of Season 2. Today we're talking with Molly Hamilton, or Specialist Molly Hamilton. She just returned from basic training. What's her story, Sergeant Major?
Well, actually her story when you listen to the episode, it's a pretty amazing story, but for me, it started with a email from the Chief of Staff down at the basic training site.
Nice.
And it looked like, in true to form, all of us older, and I have an iPhone. I just want to say that. I have an iPhone. I'm techie. I'm up to date. But I received a Chief of Staff cell phone picture from something that's probably a flip phone.
Probably.
Right? In an email, and it was a picture of Specialist Molly Hamilton getting an award. And in it was just a single paragraph, but the Chief of Staff was just relaying how impressed he was that Idaho had sent this soldier that basically remained in a leadership position the entire time that she was there.
That's so cool.
And, somewhere between, I think, 250 to 300 people that were in her battalion, she earned the leadership award while she was down there. So we got that email, and we've never received an email like that. I received it at the same time the state CSM received it. And we immediately started hey, how do we get her, when she gets back here, how do we, put her on the podcast? We want to hear her perspective. For sure. What did you do to prepare to go downrange and be so successful? And when we tracked her down, she'd already landed. She was
of course.
Right. But she lived relatively close. We brought her back in, and we just kind of made a day of it. And, this podcast really is meant for, and I think that we designed it this way, is meant for anybody that is considering joining or has joined but hasn't left for basic training or AIT yet, because she just kind of gives some pretty wise advice on the things that she did to prepare. So 2 truths and a lie.
Okay.
What do you got?
Let's see. So I am an avid skydiver. I have 7 dogs, and I was once locked in a gas station for 3 hours.
We've had a lot of skydivers.
We have. I don't want to say that's the...
I know.
Because we've been wrong. Skydivers, thespians, band members.
They're all the same.
They're all right.
I'm going to go with the dogs.
Yeah, I was going to say dogs too.
dogs.
That's a lot of dogs. That's crazy. That takes a lot of energy.
I do have 7 dogs.
Oh, man.
What?
We do animal rescue, and so unfortunately, all 7 are mine at this point. A lot of them were foster fails.
Wow.
But yeah, it's
All different breeds?
all different breeds. They're, they're mutts, most of them, but they're all really good dogs.
So you are an animal rescuer.
Yes.
All right, so you got a good heart too. This will be great then. Okay, so today we're talking to officially Specialist Molly Hamilton, but honestly, she's just Molly to us. Let's go back to high school. Where did you attend high school, and what kind of student were you?
Kamiah High School, that's in northern Idaho, and honestly, I've always loved school. I've been lucky enough to have parents that taught me from an early age, if you're going to do anything, do it right the first time. Do it right, even if it's not necessarily your first time. If you make mistakes, that's okay. But treat school like it's your job, and so take it seriously, but also have fun. So I loved school. I loved primarily my math and science classes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a first.
Wow, yeah.
Isn't it? Math and science?
Yes. Which ones did you hate?
Honestly, I don't know if I really hated any of my classes. I liked all of them. So that kind of went through my attitude once I got into college. I went to a liberal arts college, the College of Idaho, where you have a major in one area and then you have 3 minors in different areas. And so I actually ended up majoring in math and physics and then have minors in English Lit, criminal justice, and psychology. So just kind of spread out throughout the peak areas.
So
Wow.
you're just all disciplines too. Okay.
Did you do any activities in high school, like sports or anything like that?
Yes, played football, basketball, volleyball, and softball. And then toward the end, I was mainly just basketball and softball.
Right on.
Yeah.
All through high school?
All through high school. Yep. Loved my sports.
So yes to everything, all subjects, all sports.
Right?
Okay, moving on. Right, this is going to be, and so everybody's kind of got a picture of why we're talking to Molly today. You just returned from basic training.
Yes.
Okay. And before she landed here in Boise, my inbox was full of emails from everybody. So the base commandant, full bird colonels, staff sergeant, drill sergeant, sergeant first classes, your company first sergeant, they'd all had sent emails to myself and to our state sergeant major as well, just about how amazing you were in a leadership role at basic training. And what that means to us here in this organization, like we have a lot of honor grads, right? And we have a lot of soldiers of the cycle, and we have all that stuff. But we haven't seen someone with this large of a response from an active duty training base as we did here. So something that you did, or the kind of person you are, left an indelible mark on many generations of soldiers, right? From junior NCO all the way up to full bird colonels and base commandant. So that's really what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get inside your head and figure out what makes you tick, right? And then see what kind of advice you have for the younger generation. And I'm taking notes, like just be good at everything.
Right.
And play all sports, okay?
So
I
love
got
all
that.
of the things. And dogs. You have to love
maybe
dogs.
try everything.
Maybe try everything. I like that.
Never said I was good.
Okay.
That's fair.
So who was your recruiter?
Sergeant Hernandez.
AJ Hernandez. Nice. Okay.
Were you recruited out of Kamei?
No,
okay.
I'm out of CUNA now.
Okay. I
Yeah.
was going to say.
So
Kamei's up by Lewiston.
yeah.
That's where I'm from, Lewiston.
Okay, yeah, so you're familiar
Yeah,
out there, yeah.
for sure.
So how'd you get from Lewiston to CUNA?
So my parents moved up there for my dad's job when I was in high school, and they're still up there. And then we were originally from this area, and after college was out of Caldwell, and then just kind of ended back up in this area after college. So.
And what did you join to be?
So I'm 09 Sierra, so I'm getting ready to start OCS next month, and still exploring my options about what branch I'm going to pursue.
What
Maybe-
interests you? Oh, wait, all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
Currently looking into MI. I've toyed with the idea of engineering as well, but honestly, still in that process of learning and asking questions about
sure.
the people who are actually in those branches. So.
Okay. Well,
That's smart.
yeah. Walk us through how you got into the Guard. You did a lot of stuff in high school. You said, obviously, yes to all the things, right? And you're super successful with all those doors that are, and you got your degree, right? So basically all the doors are open for you. You decided to go military. So walk us through that.
So when I was in college, I did a little bit of ROTC for a few years as well. And at College of Idaho, I was the only one there that was in military science. And so for my my classes, my actual in-class work, I would go to NNU Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as for PT. And then for field training on Thursdays, go to Boise State. So I was bouncing around between the three schools. Learned a lot there, and wasn't quite ready to take that final leap to finish out ROTC and commission. But like I said, learned a lot, and after college, ended up joining a job with the state of Idaho, which I'm still currently at, and moving through that. But I always looked back and regretted that I didn't finish, and the military has always been something that I could see myself doing, I've wanted to do. It's challenging. I like that aspect, not just physically, but mentally as well. And I wanted to pursue being an officer and being in a leadership role and working in that capacity. So finally, I actually talked to somebody I went through ROTC with about a year ago, and she's a captain. And I mentioned that I had regretted not finishing, and she said, well, it's still there. You're not ancient. Why don't you get back into it? So that's what I did.
You said you work for the state of Idaho.
Yes.
Okay. Can we guess what state of Idaho organization that you work for?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take a couple guesses. Okay. I'm going to say state police,
Nope.
Department of Corrections.
Oh, that was mine.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, who do you work for?
It's a mouthful, but it's the Idaho Division of Occupational and Professional Licenses.
I
Oh,
never would
okay.
have guessed that.
Do you guys have an office down there at the old HP
Yes.
complex? Okay, I've
Yeah.
seen that office down
That's
there.
the one. They took a few years ago 11 different state agencies and combined them all into this brand new one. So I do at first, before basic, I was in a supervisor role working with the licensing for electricians, plumbers, HVAC, and then now I'm helping design their new licensing system for all of the agencies that have been combined into one.
How long have you been working there for?
Since 2018.
Okay.
Where'd you go to basic?
Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Ooh.
That's where I went.
Yeah, me too.
They're having one of their coldest winters they've had in the last few decades.
Wow.
So I just lucky, I guess.
Yeah. What was it like?
Very cold. It was, it wasn't too bad. I've never been in that area of the country. So, their seasons are a little bit different than ours. It's still cold, but just if it starts off cold, it's going to end cold. Whereas Idaho, you guys know, you start cold, but you might have 70, 80 degree weather, and then it might snow again later that
That's
day.
true.
So
That's true.
Yeah, what did it do? It snowed this
Sunday
weekend.
morning.
59 degrees yesterday. It was
So
32
dumb.
this morning when I went
So
running.
dumb.
You don't know what to wear.
I was
Every
at Fort
8
Jackson
hours.
during the rain season, so it rained from the time I went through reception to the time I graduated. Actually, the sun was out on graduation day anyway. I remember it was so hot, and I was thanking God I wasn't going through basic training in the heat. That was the only hot day of my entire basic training.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
When I went, it just rained every morning, and then it stopped right before PT started. So
Of course.
4:30 you're forming up, and you're like, oh my God, the humidity was terrible. So what prepared you for basic training? Like, when you got there, was reception a shock? Was day one a shock when you got, was any of that even hard?
it was hard. I wouldn't say I tried to do a lot of work beforehand, both physically trying to get myself into the routine of working out and a lot of running, getting used to doing a lot of push-ups. But I also tried to research as much as I can about, what to expect, things that I knew that we would need to learn. So maybe your general orders, the Army values, the rank structure, how to address different ranks, different positions to stand at, trying to refresh my knowledge on that, and that way it's going to be stressful when you first get there at reception, and especially day zero at basic. So if I could kind of alleviate some of that stress by just having that backup knowledge, that was kind of my mindset for that. So it wasn't bad, of course, just the normal stress, but I just try to revert back to remembering that, just listen to my NCOs, listen to my drill sergeants, and just pay attention and do what they say. And all of us were, stressed in the same situation together. I wasn't going through it alone. So,
how long were you in RSP before you shipped off?
I just had one drill weekend here.
Okay.
So really no help.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, you're administratively correct, but we can't do anything else for you. Here's your plane tickets. Got it.
I got to do the water survival drill, so it was actually a lot of fun.
Oh, that's one of my favorite. It's always been one of my favorite. At what point in basic did you become leadership?
Formally, or just trying to step into that role?
Talk to us
Either
about
or.
both. Yeah.
Either or.
I knew, so again, just going through what I had with ROTC and then what I tried to study beforehand, I knew that, and just honestly coming from the Guard as well, I learned that active duty and reserve trainees aren't prepared nearly as much as, the Guard trainees are. And so a lot of them, they had no idea what even standing at attention was, or not a clue what, the rank structure, anything like that. So I tried to, there's no benefit to me holding my knowledge in to myself and being selfish. So anything that I could help with, I tried to spread that around for everybody. Just again, with the mindset, we're all in this together, and you don't want your teammates to fail, and not just because if they get in trouble, then we would all get in trouble, but just the mindset is, we all want it. We're here to succeed, and we all are eventually going to work together at some point. So, if I was able to answer certain questions or help out and kind of step in and say, hey, let's think about it this way, or it wouldn't be a bad idea if all of us, let's practice, or let me do a really quick study group together to practice the Soldier's Creeds, things like that. But, and then formally put into the APG role about the anvil when we got back from block leave, all the way till graduation. So.
And the APG stands for?
Assistant Platoon Guide. Perfect. So my drill sergeant put me into he was going to initially put me in to the platoon guide role, but another drill sergeant mentioned that he would rather see me as the assistant to kind of be a mentor to the other individual they put as the platoon guide, which she did great, and we worked really well together. And so that was a learning experience for me as well, just because I had maybe a little bit more experience with, how to, lead a little bit more than she did, but not just stepping over somebody's toes, just trying to, give a little bit of guidance and mentorship, but like let her also drive and let her also maybe, I guess they call it struggle time.
Make the mistakes she needs to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lesson in that too as well. Sure. Like, you can't be a good leader if you're not a good soldier.
Yep.
Like, are you willing to follow? So.
Yep, exactly.
That's great. Some of the things that we've heard other basic training graduates come in here and say is they didn't find that the fitness portion of that was difficult at all. And some of these graduates who are in our organization now, some of them had never done anything. They'll stand there like, I never did anything. I played no sports, and I didn't find it that difficult. So if the fitness portion of this maybe wasn't as big of a struggle, what was a struggle?
Learning that everybody has very different learning styles, how they are able to receive information and take direction, as well as, everybody is coming from very different walks of life, very different experiences. Everybody's reason for joining the military is different. And being able to be respectful of that and be able to have, patience with going through and talking with and learning with all of these very, very different individuals. Just because maybe I got something quickly doesn't mean that this individual is going to receive it the same way or learn the same way. And kind of going along with that, if certain individuals would get in trouble for making these mistakes, learning to have the grace and the patience to be, that's okay. And instead of being mad at that person for messing up, maybe after that's finished, going up to that person and saying, hey, not a big deal. Everybody's going to make mistakes. What can I do to help you, and see if they need any assistance, or just, a friend to, talk it out and just say, hey, not a big deal. Don't just shake it off. It's just a moment in time. So not
like Full Metal Jacket. Okay.
Exactly like it, but opposite.
Right. But opposite. Okay. So, what was your greatest accomplishment?
Ooh. I honestly, for me, I'm going to say my physical fitness, particularly my running. I've played a lot of sports, but the running has always been kind of the bane of my existence, to be honest. Even back in the day when I was in really great shape, I've never liked running. So trying to get over that changing my mindset from, oh, I hate this run, I'm going to dread, this 2-mile PT test. Instead of having that mindset where it's so negative right from the get-go, just saying, you know what, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to get through this, and taking it as a challenge, and I was able to turn it into a positive thing. So I actually started looking forward to, if I knew we were doing a company or a platoon run the next morning, I looked forward to it and got myself out of bed and trying to be excited to tackle that rather than try to put it off and prolong it and just stress and dread it. So, and then trying to take that mindset into anything that we're doing. Still learning how to do that, but trying to.
Yeah. You got an opportunity to turn around and give a piece of advice to a 17, 18-year-old kid in high school, right? Knowing what you know, how you performed, doors that open, challenges you've conquered, what would be your advice to a glaringly like deer in the headlights 17, 18-year-old kid has no idea what they're going to do with their life?
Before they go to basic, I would say, do a little bit of research. But once you get to basic, don't take anything personal. It's just business. Treat it as a job. This is serious. You're going to have fun, but it is a job. And there's a time and place for buckling down and being serious, and then easing up and being able to laugh and joke. But you're in it together with your platoon and your squads. Everybody is going to know something that somebody else doesn't, and you're going to know things that the rest of your platoon doesn't. So, share that information and talk together, learn together, and just be a good battle buddy. And that helps you in so many different aspects getting through it. So,
I think that's the second. It's not business, it's personal. Right? Staff Sergeant Cruz just said that. So, all right, it's great advice. We're going to ask this, all right?
Super important.
Is Sasquatch real?
I'll say this from northern Idaho, can neither confirm nor deny, but there are some weird things in those trees up there.
I like that.
I'll take that as a yes. Okay.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. We'd like to thank our guests and our production crew for their time.
Join us every Wednesday here on GI and a Cup of Joe. See you next week.